Kingstream Entertainment. Ruslan.
All right, now I want to give you guys some hope. I got some good news. I have a prediction. Some of you guys may not like this. We're going to switch gears a little bit, but I got a prediction. I know how COVID is going to end. And I tell you what, it's not going to be a vaccine. It's not going to be a vaccine. You guys ready to find out how COVID is going to end? I'm going to tell you right here, right now. I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to show you guys how COVID is going to end. You guys want to know how COVID is going to end? I want to know, and I think I know. Okay? COVID. Everybody's talking about, we're waiting on a vaccine. And some of you guys are like, oh, vaccines are evil. Bill Gates, he's trying to implant a microchip. And then others are like, oh no, science. Science is going to save us. Science. Vaccine science. You guys are like, no, vaccines are evil. Vaccines are bad. Bill Gates. Bro, but science. You gotta do science, right? You guys are going to love this answer. It's an answer that brings everybody together. I'm a Enneagram 8 wing 9. I'm a challenger / peacekeeper. I'm going to tell you guys how COVID is going to end. Okay. The vaccine is going to come. It's going to come at the end of the year. I got a buddy that's working on a vaccine. Our women's pastor's son. I've known him my entire life. And she was kind of frustrated by some of this stuff. And she was like, listen, Phil, he's working on a vaccine. Don't tell me that Bill Gates has Phil in his pocket and Phil's going to insert a microchip in a vaccine and he's going to kill everybody. Stop that. That's nonsense, right? But this is what he said, though. This is what he said about the vaccine. Listen, vaccines take a decade to do the trials and to test it and to see how it affects people in 10 years from now, 5 years from now. We aren't equipped. To do a vaccine and really do a vaccine. So he said vaccines are going to come out, and the vaccines are going to go to grandma, grandpa. They're going to go to the elderly. Why are they going to go to the elderly? It doesn't really matter what happens in 10 years from now. If it's some negative consequences, they're old, right? So he's like, listen, vaccines going to come out. They're pushing it through. They're doing amazing stuff on it. There's multiple vaccines being worked on. They're going to push it through. But you know who's going to take the vaccine? The older people. The older people. That's who we got to protect. The older people. They're most at risk. So they're going to get the vaccine. And he was like, yo, I'm not taking a vaccine. I'm not taking this vaccine, right? Because we just don't know what's going to happen 10 years from now, 15 years from now, right? So that's what we do know. The vaccine's coming. Even if it comes, we don't know how safe it's going to be. I started getting the flu shot. I probably am not going to take this vaccine. I'm not going to let my son take the vaccine. As far as I know, right now, people get into all these like contact tracing and you know what I mean, all this stuff. Now check it out. This is what's going to happen. One, the election's going to end. A lot of that's going to get died down once we're past the election. Two, they've developed these instant tests. These are the tests that I think all the people around the president, the press, and the White House is taking. You've seen those tests where if like you and me wanted to go get a test, they take a big old thing and they shove it in your nose and they pull it out and you're like, ooh, I'd rather get COVID than have that, right? Y'all seen those? Okay, well, they got these other instant tests that are saliva-based. And there's a website called Scientific America that just came out with this article a few months ago. I'm surprised some of you guys, like, I felt like more people would have talked about this, right? But this article came out and it says instant COVID tests could be the answer to reopening the U.S. This is my prediction on what's going to happen, right? So it's like an instant coffee paper antigen test, including one made by E25 Bio and one made by whoever. These are fast, simple to use, at-home tests, and some are really inexpensive, about $1 to $5 per test. They're called lateral flow assays, but manifestly they are paper strip tests that have an antibody embedded on filter. If a saliva sample has coronavirus present, the antibody blend vital and antigen, turning the test positive, much like a pregnancy test works. It's like a pregnancy test, though the tests have much lower sensitivity than the CPR, blah, 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 blah. What's going to happen is we are going to get these tests probably after the election at market. They're going to be everywhere. And how it's going to work is, hey, man, me and my wife, we want to go to Ventanas. We want to go to the nice restaurant down here in Escondido. We got this restaurant called Ventanas. It's super dope. And if we want to go in there and we don't want to wear a mask and we don't want to deal with the shenanigans and all the COVID stuff, what we got to do is we got to go buy the $5 test or the $1 test. You take your saliva, you spit it on this test like a pregnancy test, and then it syncs to your phone, and you're going to come up and you're going to be like, hey, I'm COVID negative, and then they'll let you in. I think this is by and large, this is going to be how everything opens up. I think we're going to start seeing the movie theaters, the malls, the restaurants. And so some of you guys are like, oh, this is violating my freedoms, da 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 da. But I think if I can go to the mall and I got to pay an extra buck to get the test, I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? I'll pay the extra dollar to just function normally. And so what will happen is the vaccine will come. Everybody who's older will get access to the vaccine. It'll be limited to folks that are older. They'll get the vaccine. And then everybody else who we really don't know what's going to happen with this vaccine, how many vaccines, will have access to these $1 to $5 tests. And they'll be instant. They'll sync to our phones. And, for every time you want to go out, go somewhere, church, we'll just have to keep testing and making sure that the people that are out in public, the people that are around people, are COVID negative. And there'll be a lot more tests. That was the big issue. Remember when it came out, I was like, yo, we got to test more people. We got to test more people. We got to test more people. That was the issue people were having, is we weren't getting enough tests out, and technology advanced. And so, guys, you know me. I'm an entrepreneur. I don't expect the government to fix this. I don't expect them to, to bail all of us out. You know what I expect? I expect technology. I expect people who are entrepreneurs and business people to figure this thing out. And I think innovation is going to lead to more testing. More testing is going to lead to us knowing who has it, who doesn't have it. If you have it, stay your butt at home. Keep your butt at home. Self-quarantine. Don't go outside. And if you don't have it, then you prove that you don't have it, and you go back to life as normal. That is my prediction. We'll see how this video ages. I'd like to hear what you guys think about this thing. I think that we post-election, going into 2021, I think we're going to see these hit. I'll read you the last part. I'll read you guys the last part of this article. You can look it up yourself. Here's the key part. What is the most important? Then a perfect test is one that turns positive during the time period in which an individual can spread the virus to others. So it's not even like a perfect test. It's just one that we need to know if somebody has it when they're most likely to transmit it, that it shows that it's possible, that they're positive. What these cheap tests do well. Generally, disease transmission in COVID is believed to begin early, several days before one becomes symptomatic. Viral load levels peak early, and then they gradually decline, with an individual unlikely to be infectious approximately 8 to 10 days after showing symptoms. So it catches people if they're early, and it shows them as positive, and those people we say, sorry, you're not going into the movie theater. Sorry, you're not going to church. You got to go home and just chill out for a couple of days, because you're most likely to be very contagious early on in the process. That is my prediction. What do you guys think about it? I think tech and innovation is a lot of how these issues are going to get solved, in my opinion. What do you guys think?
Kingstream Entertainment. Ruslan.